Breaking news! The global spotlight turned to the United Kingdom last night as Coldplay's UK 2025 concert transformed from a world-class performance into an unforgettable emotional spectacle. What was already a sold-out arena vibrating with excitement suddenly shifted into a moment of electric anticipation when frontman Chris Martin did something no one expected. Something that sent shockwaves across social media and drew every camera toward a single figure in the crowd, Dakota Johnson. From the very first close-up, her reaction became the heartbeat of the evening, sparking a frenzy of speculation and fascination around the world. Before we dive deeper, tap like, subscribe, and share the story so your friends don't miss a single second of this extraordinary night. Drop your theories in the comments. Was this just a sweet dedication or the unveiling of something far more intimate? We're listening. The night began with pure spectacle. Lights dimmed to a hush, a low cosmic hum filled the stadium, and the roar of tens of thousands quieted to a collective breath. As Chris Martin stepped into the spotlight, his eyes carried a weight that promised something personal. Fans craned their necks, cameras scanned the VIP section, and then there she was. Dakota Johnson, luminous under the arena glow, instantly became the evening's unspoken muse. From the opening chords, it was clear this was no ordinary rendition. Chris's voice trembled with a warmth that cut through the cool London air, and every lyric seemed aimed directly toward the actress, who watched with a quiet smile. Gasps rippled through the crowd as social feeds erupted. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, hashtag Chris Martin, hashtag Dakota Johnson, hashtag Coldplay UK 2025 rocketed to trending status within minutes. Halfway through the song, the atmosphere reached a fever pitch. Chris strode to the edge of the stage, leaned toward the VIP section, and with a subtle nod and radiant grin, locked eyes with Dakota. The stadium exploded. Phones shot skyward, fans screamed, and a tidal wave of cheers drowned out the final chorus. Dakota met his gaze, eyes shimmering, her own smile both shy and charged with emotion. It was a silent conversation that spoke volumes. Is it romance? A private message wrapped in melody? Rumors of their relationship have floated for years, but this felt different, bolder, undeniable. As the music swelled, cameras captured Dakota blinking back what looked like tears. The internet went into overdrive, dissecting every frame. Was it joy, nostalgia, or something deeper that brought that shine to her eyes? Stay with us, because what happened after the lights dimmed might be even more surprising. You won't want to miss the exclusive details coming up. When the final note faded, Chris lowered his head, smiled, and delivered a simple yet loaded message. Thank you for being here tonight. You make the world more beautiful. The crowd roared, but the way his eyes flicked once more toward Dakota sent another jolt through the arena. Was that line meant for everyone, or just one person? Minutes later, behind the scenes, photographers captured Dakota leaving the VIP area wearing a radiant grin. Sources say she paused to speak quietly with staff before slipping into the night, adding another layer of mystery. Meanwhile, Chris remained backstage to greet fans and crew, fueling more whispers about what the evening really meant. Major outlets from BBC to Rolling Stone quickly pounced on the story, calling it one of the most iconic moments in Coldplay's touring history. Celebrity relationship experts weighed in, analyzing every glance and gesture, debating whether this was a poetic flourish or a public declaration of love. Fans around the globe are now on edge, waiting for the next chapter. Will Chris Martin and Dakota Johnson break their silence with a statement? Or will they keep the world guessing, letting the tension build just like the haunting chords of a Coldplay encore? One thing is certain, the Coldplay UK 2025 concert will be remembered not only for its music, but for the real-life love story that seemed to bloom right before our eyes. So what do you think? An artful coincidence or proof of a romance that's stronger than ever? Tell us in the comments, share this with your fellow Coldplay fans, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update on this electrifying saga. The night may be over, but the story is only beginning, and the next revelation could be the most breathtaking yet. But the night's magic didn't stop when the music faded. Hours after the final encore, London buzzed like a city that had witnessed history. Fans poured into cafes and late-night trains, still replaying the scene where Chris and Dakota silently connected across a sea of lights. Videos shot from every angle flooded social platforms, each clip dissected frame by amateur detectives eager to catch the tiniest detail others might have missed. Some slowed the footage to capture the exact moment Chris looked toward Dakota, others highlighted the instant she brushed a hand across her cheek, speculating whether it was a tear of joy or a quiet attempt to hide overwhelming emotion. Digital forums exploded with theories. One thread claimed a fan near the VIP section overheard Dakota softly singing along, her voice trembling during the chorus. Another swore they saw Chris mouth a private message as the lights dimmed, a fleeting whisper lost to the roar of the crowd. While no microphone caught those supposed words, the mystery only fueled the obsession, and the hashtag Coldplay love story continued climbing the global trending lists well into the early morning.by sunrise. Paparazzi shots of Dakota, leaving her London hotel, surfaced online. Dressed in a classic black coat, she shielded her face from flashes, but couldn't hide a subtle smile that ignited even more speculation. Was she returning from a quiet after-party with the band? Did she and Chris share a private celebration? Industry insiders hinted that members of Coldplay's inner circle had been unusually tight-lipped, a silence many interpreted as confirmation that something special had happened away from the public eye. Meanwhile, entertainment journalists scrambled for quotes from anyone close to the couple. One source described the atmosphere backstage as electric yet intimate, saying Chris seemed lighter, happier than we've seen him in years. Another insider, reportedly a longtime friend of Dakota, insisted the actress has always been Chris's greatest muse and that the performance was a love letter in real time. Neither camp offered official confirmation, but the hints were enough to keep the global audience glued to their screens. Streaming numbers for Coldplay's catalog spiked overnight, with the very song performed during the dedication surging to the top of multiple international charts. Fans flooded Spotify playlists with the track, treating it as both a musical masterpiece and a symbol of something larger, an anthem for a romance that feels both private and universal. Music critics jumped in, analyzing lyrical nuances and chord progressions, debating whether Chris had subtly altered the arrangement to match the mood of the evening. As morning turned to afternoon, London's West End became a magnet for reporters and superfans hoping to catch another glimpse of Dakota or Chris. Cafe owners near the band's hotel reported a sudden rush of visitors asking if the couple had stopped by. A flower shop down the street revealed they had delivered an unusually large bouquet of white roses to a private client, though they refused to name names. Each small detail became another breadcrumb in the story the world couldn't stop following. International headlines amplified the intrigue. The New York Times called the moment a modern rock and roll fairy tale. Variety praised the performance as a masterclass in merging personal narrative with global spectacle. Even late-night talk shows in the US devoted entire segments to the mystery, replaying the concert footage while studio audiences gasped and cheered. Fans from Tokyo to Sao Paulo organized live-stream discussions, analyzing everything from body language to set design. Some pointed out that the stage lights subtly shifted to a softer hue during the song, an artistic choice they believed symbolized a private universe shared between Chris and Dakota. Others noticed that Chris wore a bracelet rumored to have been a gift from her, a tiny accessory now magnified into a symbol of affection by millions of eyes. Back in Los Angeles, Dakota's close friends reportedly offered no comment, though one associate hinted that she's happier than ever and that what you saw on stage is only part of the story. For Chris, the aftermath was equally intense. Sources within the music industry claimed the band's management was fielding non-stop calls from media outlets requesting interviews or official statements. So far, the response has been a polite but firm silence, a move that only heightens the sense of anticipation. What's next for this captivating pair? Rumors swirl of an upcoming Coldplay track inspired directly by that night, with whispers that Dakota may even appear in the music video. Others predict a joint public appearance at an upcoming awards ceremony, where the world will be watching every glance, every subtle gesture. For now, the only certainty is that the Coldplay UK 2025 concert has transcended music. It has become a cultural event, A living, breathing story that fans, journalists, and romantics everywhere are desperate to see unfold. Each replay of the viral footage adds new layers of meaning, every screenshot a clue in a narrative that mixes artistry, emotion, and a touch of mystery. And so we circle back to you. Do you believe this was simply an unforgettable performance, or the quiet unveiling of a love that has inspired countless Coldplay songs? Could this be the moment when private affection finally meets public declaration? Share your thoughts below and keep the conversation alive. Because if there's one thing the world agrees on tonight, it's that the story of Chris Martin and Dakota Johnson is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be even more breathtaking.